Where's the link that I can follow along?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a link that I can follow along?
I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, crap. I just moved our faces, which I cannot do. That's like the one thing I cannot do. Okay. Oh, man. It looks even worse now. All right. Yeah. So we're learning some lessons here. Thanks for hanging out. It's going to be a little awkward today.
By awkward, do we mean painful?
Yeah. Yeah, a little painful. Well, that's what coding's all about, right?
Yeah, that's all coding. Where do
Yeah.
I find? Will the live stream just show up in our channel? No?
Yeah. So I
I'm
just
not
found the
seeing
link
it.
to it right
You did?
now. Yeah.
What did you search? Huh.
So I just went to our page and it said live now. I'm gonna grab the link, and I sent it to you on Hangouts. Hopefully not on the chat. So I got my bank
Weird, because
password
I
now.
don't see that. But oh, there it is. I see it now. All right. So now I can watch that. Yeah, and then I do see where you moved the faces.
Okay.
It looks off.
Yeah. Let's fix it. Oh no, that also looks off. Oh, that looks off even more. Whoa, how's that? Is that pretty good?
If I'm watching what your screen share is doing, I would have to guess no, but looking at the live stream, I'm not seeing it yet.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a slight delay with the live stream, so.
Dang it.
So it's not quite live. It's live-ish.
Live-ish. Oh gosh.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tweet this out.
All right, we're tweeting live. Live tweeting.
Yep. Come learn Apache Drill.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna stop messing with the camera. Everything I do makes it worse.
In fact, I'm really gonna put the pressure on us. I'm going to go to our Slack, and in general,
Hello out there.
I'm gonna throw a link out there to Apache Drill.
All right, so we're good. Okay, so I can't see if anyone's actually in the stream because of what I've done to myself, but I do have the chat up, so hopefully you can see that.
Yeah, I am not seeing anyone yet, so.
All right, let's keep an eye on it.
Keep that going in the background.
Okay, cool. So so we're good. So we were gonna do a bit of programming on Learning Beam.
Am I supposed to see some kind of password?
Hey, my audio is driving out. Password? What are you talking about, password? Oh, we got Greg here, by the way. That's not Gavin. Don't let the name fool you.
Joe's audio seems to be dropping out once in a while. It could be a delay too, though. Hard to tell. I think you just mentioned that you were aware of that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Because you saw him say it, though?
Yes. Yep. So you know how I roll Greg a little wild and a little strange? All right, I always forget. Is it Greg or Gregory?
Dang. I'm delayed in this live conversation. How's that? How's that possible? I'm going to open up a soda, so you're going to hear it. I promise it's not a beer.
All right. Well,
maybe that's what would have made this coding experience better. We should be drinking while we do this.
It's not Greg. Is it really? Is it actually? Oh, it's Nico, man. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's Nico, not Gavin. See, I was only off by one. Yeah. I did get that before the latency, by the way.
Well, what's really odd though is you're apparently getting the live chat before I am.
I'm watching on the screen share, so if you look at my desktop in Zoom, you should see it at the same time. Although there's also Zoom latency, so this is a big mess.
Yeah. Well, but I had my my own browser window covering up your browser window. So I'm watching your terminal,
Ah.
and we all see your your password there. And
Oh no, not ravioli life.
yeah, oops. But don't worry. I mean, I got a copy of it.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
great.
gonna send you a link. I need you to submit your social security number for me if you don't mind.
All right, sure.
Yeah, it's legit. Trust me.
999.
All right, so yeah, right. So, do we want to give a little background here? I mean, we kind of did it in the description.
Yeah, a little bit. So we're looking at Apache Drill, which I don't know anything about.
Yeah, so I have like all of days worth of experience with it, but so no real experience with it. But it's basically like picture if you could have a SQL like query engine on top of any data source, right? So it could be a CSV file, it could be a Parquet file, it could be whatever, right? Like it could be a table, it could be an Elasticsearch index, whatever you want it to be. You could have a query engine that sits on top of all of this stuff. So that sounds cool already, right? Like especially like we've all had to deal with like random CSV files that a customer might be like, oh hey, here's a CSV file, load this in and whatever. And you're like, okay, yeah, sure, let me load it into SQL Server, and then I can like see what's what with it, right? So already just the ability to query like a CSV file kind of sounds interesting. But now imagine that like you have a CSV file and you have like a Postgres table and you want to join those two things together. You want to query, you don't want to waste time loading the CSV file into a table and then do a query to join it. You just want to like see both, right? So that's where the cool thing about drill comes in, is that we can join these really different data, these different technologies. We can do joins on them. We can query them and we can join them as if they were all the same type of thing, right?
Okay. Yeah, so it reminds me a little bit of like Link and C Sharp. You could have like you could do the same sort of thing where you've got like link providers for say Excel, and you've got one for CSV, and you've got one for a database, and you could kind of join those things together using C Sharp, link syntax. And you've got this whole big language and runtime and everything. But this is just like that little slice, and like finely tuned for that sort of thing, a different bunch of different data sources.
Yeah. And to add to the coolness here, though, is that these data sources, they don't have to sit on your computer. You could have it sitting in like S3, AWS S3, or a GCP storage bucket, and you can create connectors that, well, connectors make it sound more Kafka-like, but in drill speak, I believe the proper terminology would be a storage plugin. You could create a storage plugin that drill would know how to communicate to Google platform storage buckets, or AWS S3 storage buckets, or whatever. And or similarly, if you wanted a storage plugin for like a Postgres, for example.
Okay.
And oh, I forgot another really cool thing about it is that it does all this and it comes with an amazing UI where you can get to see the queries that it runs. You can see the query plans that it creates for this, and like how that works. And if you scale this up to where you're running across multiple nodes, you can actually see how it spreads the workers across. So that's like another really cool thing that we didn't cover yet, was
Okay.
that unlike other alternative query engines, like you could have multiple worker nodes all helping to query whatever this data set is. So if you had a bunch of Parquet files sitting up in your Google Cloud storage bucket, right, and you wanted to query those, and you might be joining to Elasticsearch, and you might also be joining to Postgres, and like let's just say you had 10 workers. When you create that query and you run that query and you go to look at the query plan, there's like a visual a visualization of the query plan that you can see in the drill UI to see like how it split the work across the different worker nodes and how long each worker node spent on executing a portion of it. And it's just it's really nice. You'll see. We'll get into some of that. And you know, I joked at the beginning with like my days of experience. So I'm seriously like by no means a you know, a drill expert here. So I'm still very much learning this technology as well, but it had enough meat in it that, like, you know, I kind of got hooked on it. I was like, oh, this is really cool, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you will too.
Okay, yeah. So I was just taking a couple notes here in case anybody asks. So Nico, is drill something that you're interested in, or are you just hanging out? And there's just gonna be some latency, so and
Yeah, no
I don't know. Nico may have fallen asleep by now, so.
So, while we wait on that answer, if you want, what we can do is Drill has a really nice getting started page where basically you can just use Docker for you know, to learn Drill on without really having to install anything. So I wasn't really planning on like us having to install anything, or you know, yeah, we would just use the. I'm trying to find that page again.
So is it the Learning Apache Drill? I see a link here.
Yeah, I thought there was one. Oh, I think it's the Drill in 10 Minutes one.
Oh, this is the book.
Yeah.
Drill in 10 minutes.
Go to documentation on the top, and then under tutorials, click on tutorials.
Tutorials, okay. Hey, and yeah, glad to hear that this might be able to help you out.
And then click on Drill in 10 Minutes, and then this will. Wait, is this the one I'm thinking of?
Query sample data in 10 minutes. Are we looking for Docker?
This is talking about installing it, though.
Oh, I don't want to install anything. If I don't have to.
Why would anybody want to install anything?
So just like Google like drill Docker.
Hold on, I'm just gonna search it here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is going to be easy to set up too.
Okay, there was a different one. I'm sorry. Go back to you got it now. Running Drill on Docker.
All right, Googs for the win.
So yeah, so if you scroll down a little bit there's a Docker command that will run.
Okay.
And I will say that you can rename, if like they include the version number in the name there.
Yep.
And depending on like if we ended up shelling into it, you know, using a different window or whatever, like sometimes that can be a pain. So you might want to just like in the -- name part, if you wanted to just call it Drill, that's up to you.
Okay.
But yeah.
I always have a ton of things that start up automatically. So I finally memorized the command to stop everything.
Or didn't.
Yeah. Well, the trick is it only works in PowerShell. Docker PSAQ. So, you know, like we kind of talked a little bit about like bouncing between different languages all the time, like C# and Kotlin and JavaScript and SQL or whatever, and Python. And then same with shells now. I do a lot of PowerShell, Bash, or DOS. It's gross. So there's the command. So we're going to give it a name. Instead of that, we'll just call it Drill.
I mean, that's up to you. It's your call. But yeah, otherwise, if we wanted to like exec into that container, then you'd have to type in that whole version number name, and it could just be frustrating. I'm going to try to follow along, though, just in case.
Cool. So would you say that this is, what would you say the learning curve is on Drill?
Oh, it's so simple. Like,
okay.
Of all the technologies out there, like the learning curve on this one, I think is far less. And part of that is because there's a nice UI for it. There's really good documentation for it. And, you know, there's a pretty good support community out there. So you can like query and do Google searches and find good answers on it. So there's already like a lot of good resources out there on the internet for it. So compared to like a Kafka, for example, like the Kafka would be a much higher learning curve than Drill.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot more moving parts and a lot more things to be aware of in Kafka. Now, again, that's coming from days worth of experience. So,
but it's not something you need to like go read a book on before you even like touch it.
I don't think so. But I mean, there might be some drill expert that would be listening to this and want to, strangle me.
Yeah.
But I thought that this was pretty cool, and it just made sense.
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't think anyone ever called Kafka simple though.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's kind of like my benchmark for like, is this harder than Kafka or easier than Kafka to get started? And it sounds like it's easier than Kafka. So, whew. But yeah, everyone claims everything is easy, right? The demos are always great.
So we are already in the Apache Drill interface right there.
Yeah.
Like so we can just start entering queries right now. So like yeah, you could do that. You could do another one that would like show schemas. And this command line interface is very see how it's like saying add a semicolon?
Yeah.
It's very particular about the semicolon. So what'll happen is if you wanted to write a multi-line query, then you can in case of like complex joins or whatever, sub-selects, you could do that, and then you tell it you're done by that final semicolon.
Okay.
And so that's another thing we forgot to mention too, is that like just like a traditional kind of SQL environment, Postgres, Oracle, whatever, you could do sub-selects too. Right?
Okay.
And by the way, I mean there's a whole set of commands here. Let me share this. Where is it? Oh wait, you know what? I probably have it. Go. Bang, bang, bang.
Do we not have greater than, or can you not do greater than for a string?
Okay, so supported commands. Check this out. So I'm going to throw this in our chat window there. And
which chat did you put it in?
The YouTube chat.
Okay.
Wait, do you not see it?
I don't see it yet.
That's weird. I see. Why do you not see me?
I don't know. Who are you logged in as?
Me?
Oh.
Should I log in as you? I mean, I got your password from earlier.
Yeah, Ravioli Life.
All right. Well, I can send it to you another way then.
Okay.
So maybe you'll get that one.
Yep, and I'll paste it here and see if it shows up. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's weird. It did. I see your post, but I don't. So yeah, so there's a whole set of supported commands here. And if you like go through this whole section in the documentation, because if you notice, like in the left rail there, you're in the SQL reference section. So I just dumped this. I gave you a link to just dump you straight into the SQL commands. But if you look, there were SQL functions, window functions, nested data functions, and like really just like a lot of the commands that you're already familiar with coming from like a SQL Server or Postgres or whatever experience, right? You're going to find a lot of similar commands here. So.
Okay, very cool. All right, hey, I don't know if you saw, but Safal recommend changing the top chat to live chat. So I did that on the screen that we can see. I don't know what it looks like for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're right. Like, I don't ever see my message in there.
Okay. So if you chat there, does it show up?
Test?
Yeah. Hey, there we go.
Okay. Well, learn some new.
All
Weird.
right, cool.
Top chat versus live chat. I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah, let's follow knew the secrets. So thank you. That's awesome. I don't think we. No, I wouldn't have guessed that. Like learning in public.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Now we want to find some data to play with, though.
Okay. Awesome.
So maybe you want to just go out to like a Kaggle and let's find something interesting. I was thinking, I don't know if it would hit too close to home, but like maybe if we did play with some COVID data, there might be something of interest, or, but not knowing like what other people are going through, that might be a little, they don't want to be reminded of it.
Yeah, I don't know. What does chat think? Do we want to see COVID data, or we want to see something more lighthearted? I don't know. Yeah, I could go either way.
I'm really game for anything. It doesn't matter, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever downloaded anything from. That's not true. I have downloaded stuff from Kaggle, but I don't think I've done anything cool with it ever. There's a lot of stuff. You can find all the Pokemon in here. You can find Bigfoot sightings, all sorts of good stuff.
I don't know that I do anything cool, period. So there's probably that problem.
Right. All right. Well, I think there's probably a big delay in chat, so I guess we'll start looking for some COVID data, and we'll just see. All right. So Fall says COVID.
I mean, like right off the start, it looks like it was.
You have to register with cat. Okay. Yeah, I'll register with Kaggle. Okay, cool. So we got 2 votes for COVID. So okay, cool. And I'm logged in. So now what? So if we do get started, bring on the morbidity. Hey, we got Andrew Thing. How's it going? We're gonna do some Overwatch after this. Oh, I don't know if Andrew plays Overwatch. I bet he'd be good at it though. All right, so well, we've got a couple different things. We've got some challenges. I don't really know what to do with that. We've got curated. Oh, we've got data sets to curate, and then they talk about exploratory analysis. Oh, look, you can see the things I've looked at recently. Good thing that could have been worse. You see a Pokemon with stats. That was very interesting. Stat. All right.
Let's see.
I'm also terrible at Overwatch, by the way. That's why I play healer. And people don't really know how bad I am. It's easier to mask. So I'm just kind of clicking. I clicked into data just to see kind of what it looked like. Oh, well, I gotta put my phone number in here. All right,
well, let me don't have to do that then.
Well, I can hide it.
See.
All right, this is off screen, so I'll just go ahead and do it. I think so. I don't know. We'll see if I
see everything you're typing.
Well,
there's your bank account routing number.
I was gonna put your number in.
Oh, that's not funny.
All right, I'm not a robot. Okay, hang on, I got a phone call. Oh, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. That's very funny though, right? Two-factor is the worst thing that ever happened.
What? No. Wait. Do we need to debate that instead of drill?
No. I just hate it. Okay, so I'm verified. All right. So now if we look at the data, so we've got a couple things here. Looks like. If I click
just grab one of those. Who cares what it is? Because like we're not doing machine learning, so it doesn't matter which one of those data sets we grab. The test would probably be good enough.
Okay, it seemed kind of small though. It was only kilobytes.
It'll be fine for the beginning. Because all we want to do right now is just like.
Okay, so you want to see
like,
test?
I can keep looking for like other data in the background, but
Okay. All right, I'm grabbing the test data. Ooh, I opened it. Ugh.
Oh wait, that's only 4 columns though.
Train is
Oh, I
6
guess that's what I
columns.
was seeing there too.
You will find something wider.
Well, I mean, we can still do some stats on it though, so maybe it'll be fine. I mean, we can still start with it.
Okay. Looks like, oh, I accidentally went somewhere else. Let's see. This is JSON. Can you query JSON with drill?
You can.
Do you want to try that, or is that crazy?
I don't care. I mean, I kind of like the idea of just starting that with that other one just to like get started because it was a simple data set. So we keep the idea of like we could iterate on harder things as we go along.
Okay.
So that other data set, even though it was only 4 columns, though, we could still do some like things with it.
I'll grab the 6 column version.
Sure.
All right. How does Firefox download files? Does that work? Now I'm gonna have a parenthesis
like
1 version.
Else.
All right. I guess you guys get to see it in my download folder. Okay. I guess I could have not done that. So do you have a preference on where I do this? Just say
so
drill?
we need to download the file, and then what we're going to do is we're going to copy that into your running container for right now.
Okay.
We're going to kind of like cheat to begin with, though, right? So
Yep.
we'll just do a CP into, and we can just copy it straight to /TMP. So in another window here, leave this window going.
Okay.
You don't just do like an Alt Shift and a number to like start a new window?
No. Does that work?
Really? So like, am I wrong? Click on your plus sign there. In the bottom right.
Whoa. Okay.
And there's the drop down arrow next to your plus sign.
Yep.
And see how you have those numbers there?
Yeah.
So like in mine, if I want to do a regular commander window is like whatever my default shell is. So like how 1 is CMD.
I just realized no one can see what I'm doing.
2, it would open up a new command window.
So it looks like this. I do Alt Shift 2 for PowerShell. Oh, and Alt Shift 1. Okay, so Alt Shift 2.
No, Alt Shift 2 would be command. Alt Shift 3 for me is a PowerShell admin, and Alt Shift 4 because they're going to like add up, right? They're going to be additive.
So I see the number 2.
Yeah. So this is where Commander like does you a disservice. You got to do your own math there because you got 2 in the first menu, so 1 and 2, and now so Alt Shift 1 is going to open up a command window as admin.
Okay, so this opens up as an admin. So let's try Alt Shift 4 is PowerShell. Okay, Alt Shift 4 is PowerShell.
Yeah. So it's saying like you got to like do the math yourself, but okay. So yes, now let me download that same file too, because I wanted to play along with it. Dang it, I forgot the link.
I will share a link. I will put the link in the chat in case anyone wants to follow along. Data. There we go.
Sorry, we took a commander.
Yeah, we don't usually go off on tangents like that, so I apologize if this is your first time hanging out with us. It won't happen again, I assure you.
All right, so
are you gonna embarrass me by making people realize I don't know how to copy stuff into a container?
Oh, well, no. We can, so wherever your file is, so just Docker CP, and then wherever the file is, and then...
okay. I've never used Docker CP.
I believe it would be like whatever the name of the... So just, no, you don't just drill and then colon the name, I believe is... Or is it all in the colon? It's either... No, I think you're going to want a colon. behind drill.
Okay. Like data/data?
No, we're going to put it in TMP.
Okay, TMP.
And then you can specify the name there too.
Okay.
I believe that'll work. And in fact, I think that's actually... Is it in the... Maybe it's not in that Docker drill thing. But yeah, so now if you were to Docker exec into drill...
Okay, IT...
Yeah.
Drill...
Let's just do bin bash.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then ls tmp. You should see our file there.
Yeah.
Boom. Wait, it was a directory? Oh.
Yeah,
Wait,
it is a
it's a
directory.
directory? Oh.
Because of how I
you
unzipped it.
Unzipped it and then Windows defaults to creating a directory for the file name.
Yeah.
You're lame. Let's just move the file out to the root and then... Because I think that'll make it simpler.
TMP train.csv. That's not going to work either. Okay, hold on. We're going to move train.csv, the folder, to train folder. Does it offend you that I named a folder train folder?
No.
Does it offend you that I put train folder outside of temp?
I don't really care at this point. No, I'm good.
We could be playing Overwatch right now. Dang it. All right. So in here in TMP, now I'm going to copy the train CSV to dot. Okay. And yeah, it worked. And we can even see the data inside it. Oh my gosh. That's a megabyte of data that I just launched at your eyeballs.
So I am trying to get my own environment up and going while I try to follow along. And yet, for some reason, I'm not lucky enough to download the file. Oh, wait, there we go.
To like sign in and type in your number.
Oh, really? Again? Yeah.
Andrew, if you're still around, you interested in drill or are you just hanging out? Or both?
I enter the correct CAPTCHA response.
CAPTCHA.
Weird.
Oops, this is what I was looking for.
There we go. Now, can I download it finally? Oh, finally. All right. Man, Kaggle, why are you being such a little punk? Extract. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to like follow along locally so that in case if anything gets stuck, I can at least be at the same point with you so that I can...
Yeah, Gavin's or Nico, you're following along too.
Docker CP.
I'm hoping that now that I've typed in my phone number for Kaggle, it'll be easier to download stuff in the future.
Train.csv.
You can do a lot of stuff with a phone number.
Too much. IT drill and bash.
My phone's been on silent for years now, though, so.
Okay. So now what we should be able to do... Okay. All right. So now if we do a use... So go back to your first tab there for Docker.
Whoa, yep.
In Commander. And if you... So scroll back up and look at our history where we did the show schemas.
Yep.
So basically what you're seeing here, it's kind of weird. They call these schemas, but in the UI, these are all storage plugins. Oh, by the way, we should go look at that. So what is that? I gotta remember the port it's on though. But shoot.
Oh yeah, I can run. I'll paste the command we use to run this as well. So let me do that.
What port did it say that the UI was on? Oh, yeah, 8047. So if you go to localhost 8047, and let's see if I have better luck with
All right.
the chat. So Gavin says, oh yeah, he had some issues with Kaggle as well. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Whoa.
So check this out. Before we go any further, let's just poke around and hit this for a moment, because this is like the coolest thing about drill, or one of the coolest things about drill. Because like there are other technologies out there that serve a similar problem to what drill does. Like Presto would be the probably the biggest competitor to drill.
Okay.
Right. But out of the box, Presto does not come with this. And in my mind, that's huge, right?
Yeah.
But now there are like
drill
who
bits.
was it? Not Uber. Airbnb did create a UI that's available on GitHub for Presto, but I haven't played with it, so I can't speak to it or anything. But so as I understand it, so like the different, I think the drill bits here represent the like your nodes. I don't really remember though. I could be wrong about that part.
Why are people asking about drill on Quora?
Well, why not, right?
No, yeah, I guess Stack Overflow used to would have yelled at you about that sort of thing. So, all right, fair enough.
Well, I mean, it's better than going to Yahoo Answers, I guess.
yeah.
So if you go click on query in the top nav there, and here you have like an interface, so you could enter in like all your own queries here. So whatever you wanted to do. So like I think you did another one where it's like select star from sys.versions.
Yep. Select star from sys.versions. Whoa.
What was that previous command that you typed in? Was it not? Oh, select version from sys.version.
Oh, yes.
Singular, not plural.
Okay. So query. Select version from sys.version, not plural. Control enter.
Yeah. So here, so the point is that we have the same thing here that we did in the command line, but now we have a cool little interface for it. Now that said, I do find the command line easier to query, and here's why. Go back to query, click on query again, and now you can't iterate on what your query was.
Oh, that sucks.
But hey, check this out though. Click on profiles. Now you can see a history of all your queries.
Okay.
Right? Click on that top one there, select star or select version. All right, so here's where I was saying that like now you can see the profile of what the query did, right? Now, this is going to be rather boring because we haven't done anything exciting yet, and we don't have like, we're not working in a cluster with a bunch of nodes. But if we did, this is where all that information would show up, right? So if you were to scroll down here, like see this fragmented profile section and the operator profile section, this is where you would see what was happening across multiple nodes if we had that set up, and you would be able to see like how much time was spent across each one. And if, for example, if this was a Parquet file, have you ever used Parquet files before?
Nope.
So the way the Parquet format works, like, okay, are you familiar with RAR files? RAR?
I mean, a little bit. Yep, WinRAR.
Okay, but you know how, but the point is, you know how like that compression format would work where like it could span multiple files. So you might have like, you know, my file.rar, but then behind the scenes, that might be like a header file for like rar.rar1, rar2, rar3, right? Well, and Parquet does the similar kind of thing, right? Where you could have like a Parquet file, but behind the scenes, it's really split out across multiple files, except in the Parquet world, the way it does that splitting is you would see it as a directory, right? And
Oh,
then
okay.
inside of the directory, you'd have Parquet 0, 1, 2, 3, or whatever, for whatever your file is. So what you'd see here in your drill UI window
Yep. There we go.
is in the scroll back up a little bit. Nope, a little bit down in that fragmented section in the operator profile sections, is that if we had let's scroll down just a little bit so we can see the operator profile sections. So if, for example, if we were querying Parquet files, like in a multi-file, like a directory of Parquet files, for example, then you would actually see like which nodes were working on which files, and like how much time they spent on each file and everything like that. Like you'd see a lot of cool information. Here's my point. Right now, we're not seeing anything exciting, but yeah.
Oh man, is this case sensitive? So I can't write lowercase SQL?
No, you should be able to.
It's not version.
Now, that it is finicky about the storage plugins, and we will get to that in a minute. But yeah, like at least for the SQL keywords, it's not.
Okay, cool. But maybe the table? Was that the deal? Sys.version?
Yeah,
oh, I don't know.
I didn't think so. I'll show you where it gets weird in a minute though. But just to go back to profiles and then like click on that any one of those again.
Okay.
All right, so we've kind of seen this screen here. So now this is where you could iterate on a query if you wanted to, because on the top right there's edit query.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and what that would do is that would allow you to edit this query and rerun a new one, but you'd still like this one right here. What we're looking at is immutable because this is history that we're looking at.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
But now those other two links, physical plan and visualize plan, this is where you can see like what's going to happen. So click on physical plan. Here in this text box, you see the execution plan of like what was going to happen. So anything that would need to be cast, you see those casts happen. So see all those casts for like varchar 65,000, right? You see like where it's defaulting things that it's going to cast, right?
Yep.
So you can see all that here. Now click on visualized plan. Now imagine, if you will, that we were working in a cluster where you see these like simple blue boxes, one linking to the other. Instead, if we were working in a cluster and the read was being spread across multiples of these, you would see that thing. You would see this pretty diagram of how that thing was getting drawn out, or split across all the different nodes in your cluster.
I don't know why you're talking about this like it's a good thing.
So you know what? You could see this?
Yeah, so when like you're playing a video game and like, whatever, it's all normal, and then all of a sudden you start finding like lots of ammo and like lots of health and like lots of armor. And it's like
you get bored of the game because you're like invincible.
No, that there's a big terrible boss fight coming up. Like someone put a lot of work into getting all these tools together, and basically iterating, making the UI so it's tuned for like looking at all this data, which tells me that I'm gonna need these tools to do the kind of work that we're gonna be doing with this.
Okay, so that's definitely a glass is half empty way to look at it. But. And again, like I said at the start, right? I'm not a drill expert, so I'm coming with, days of experience with this thing, right? So some drill expert that's got a lot of experience might want to, slap me around and say like, oh no, there is a lot of complication. But at least from what I found, like I haven't run into that. And the issues that I have run were like, after like, a couple hours of like Googling or figuring out, it was like, oh, I'm past that problem now.
Okay.
Right. It wasn't, I didn't run into anything that like shut me down to where I was like, okay, well, I guess, here's days of my life that I can't get back because I still can't figure out this problem. And, but again, that's because I only had like days of experience with it, period. So, full disclosure there.
Okay.
But yeah, so maybe you're right. But I choose to be more, I want to be more optimistic about it and just say like, hey, it's so cool they did this. But yeah, you're probably right. They probably had a reason for it.
Yeah.
So that's the profile section. So like go back to click on profiles from the top left again. And so now you can see again, all your queries are going to show up here. Right. So now let's go to storage. Click on storage. Now, this is the storage plugins that would, this is where I said in like more specific drill speak that if you wanted to query like a Postgres or like an AWS or a GCP storage bucket, like this is where you would do that. You would configure a storage plugin and that would come in. So let's just click on close here and let's just take a look at like what one of these look like. So click on the DFS and then click on update. And what you're going to see here is like, this is just a simple set of JSON. Well, simple because, we didn't have to write it. It was already there.
Right.
But, maybe complex because we don't know like everything that's supposed to be in there, like all the different options that are supposed to be in there. But the point is that like, you just have some JSON here that you can tweak and edit or, create a new one to do whatever you want to do. So in this case, this is a file one. And you see like in that line 6 and 7, so it's setting up something for temp and this is why I specifically had you put the trained file in /temp.
Okay.
Because out of the box, Drill already knows how to query files in that location.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you go back, just click on the back button there, and you'll see that there's a bunch of disabled ones that are built in out of the box. And check this out. Hey, doesn't the Kafka look interesting to you?
It does. Yeah.
Right? So Kafka is interesting. S3 is interesting. Now, here's the sad part. Well, sad to me, and maybe you don't mind it, but like I've had a love affair with Postgres over the last year.
Yeah.
And sadly, Postgres is not one of the out of the box plugins that come shipped with Drill, but it's totally possible to set up Postgres connectivity if you wanted to. There's a lot of great documentation out there.
Okay.
And
that
maybe
seems
in
common.
like I don't know if we'll have time to get to it today, but if we wanted to like play with Postgres, we could, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so the point is we already have the update. The DFS one.
So does this work for streaming? Like, how does this work for Kafka?
Yeah, great question. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't explored like that, but the idea is that you could query data from Kafka. Now, whether or not it's coming from like, it's using some connector in the background that has to persist it to something else, or if it's using it from a live topic that you could just watch it come in. I don't know if it's working like a KSQL works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any of that behind the scenes is how the Kafka one works, but I know that like in theory, you could query Kafka with using Drill, and some magic happens and you see data.
Okay, so just to kind of recap it, basically we ran a Docker command to set up the Drill environment, and it came along with this website, and it's already configured to look at TMP. So we copied a file into TMP, and now we're just ready to query?
We are. So check this out.
Hey, kill the shroom. What's up?
Hey. So let's go to your command window again.
Okay.
Either one, it's up to you. I like the command line, but if you prefer the browser, we can. So you're gonna need to enter a semicolon there to let that error out. And now there was that use schemas that we did before. So just do show space schemas again, and then a semicolon at the end of that.
Okay.
Just to see what our schemas were again. And you notice that like there's the two DFS ones. You see those now?
Yep.
There's dfs.temp and dfs.root.
Yeah.
Right? And we saw those in that file. And there's the cp.default one too. And actually there was a dfs.default. So what we can do here is we can say use space dfs.temp. So whatever the schema name is there.
Ugh.
Yeah, you got to get used to entering that semicolon, right? It like I said, it's particular about that.
I just learned to stop doing it in JavaScript.
Oh, you mean in Kotlin?
Oh, yeah, well, Kotlin, the IDE is just like, no, it'll just erase it for you.
Yeah. So because we're on a file system here, you can type in show space files semicolon, and it'll show you all the files that you have in here. And what we should see in here is our train.csv file from Kaggle, Do you see that midway through?
Um,
Well, now
it's
everything's
so
moving
big.
around.
Yeah, I
But yeah,
made
it
it
was
all
like
tiny.
fourth from the bottom.
Yeah.
So now we see that guy in there. Now, if this was a database, for example, instead we could do a show space tables, and we would see like all of our tables as well.
Okay, so I'm basically treating the folder like a database, and then we're going to treat the file like a table.
Yes, except that show tables command isn't going to work, isn't going to like show anything meaningful here because we're not connected to a database.
Okay.
But yeah, so what we could do here is say, I'm trying to remember in the background here. What was that called?
Train.csv.
So I think you could do a select star from dfs.temp.train CSV. But here's where it gets weird. Oh, you're going to want to put a limit on that guy, by the way.
Okay.
Don't do what I just did. So, yep, and semicolon. Now, here's where it gets weird. So, you need to put train.csv in backticks.
Because it's got a dot. All right.
No, it has nothing to do with a dot that I'm aware of. It has to do with like it's just particular about these other data sources. Even if it was a like a Postgres table, we would have still had to do this.
Okay.
Now I think technically, I'm pretty sure we don't technically need to include the dfs.temp since we did the use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we can leave that off. Just like, just like if we were in, any other database system and we had said, selected the schema. But the reason why that's handy though is like if you were going to join multiple things that aren't like if we were going to join this CSV file to a Postgres database, you could see where it would be handy to say like, hey, here's the storage plugin for A dot whatever the source is, and the storage plugin for B dot whatever the name of the thing is.
Okay,
right?
yeah, that makes sense. Yes, we
So
can
if it
join
was
this
like-
against anything.
Yeah, so if it was like select star from file system dot train CSV join db dot my table, right? That's where like those schemas would come in handy, just like if you were in any other kind of thing. So now what we could do is we can do like, so Afghanistan was the first one there, right?
Yeah.
So we could write a query that would be like, hey, where
What?
Yeah, so we could do like a select count one from train CSV where how would this work? Where I think we got to put it in country region.
Country region.
Equal Afghanistan.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the
Afghanistan.
wrong thing. Country underscore region.
Oops, where did I put a?
Does it not like equal signs? It's like dash EQ or something.
Quotes.
No. Oh yeah, wrong quotes. That's probably what it was.
And then
Columns allowed.
oh, okay. So I guess we gotta like tell it to skip the header column. So where we do that? So drill skip header.
Is it?
Because this is another one of the beauty of drill versus like a Presto, for example. Like if we were going to do this with Presto, we would have to create a schema in Presto to describe what this CSV looks like.
Yeah. We
don't have to do that with drill.
Oh, do I need to put it in those special ticks? Is that what I did wrong?
I'm trying to remember too. So, hold up a second. Well, I mean, you can keep trying on your own, but like I'm too like trying to remember the syntax for this part.
That sounds like an error message I would write. I noticed the little funny message when you log in too, so I approve of this stuff. And hey, while you're looking that up, Killstream, are you interested in drill or are you just hanging out? Just saw the little live indicator. Yeah, backticks. I tried it. I made it purple, so I thought maybe we're onto something. Only column is found. I thought it'd be like kind of a, you know, a good thing to search on.
Click that. Incredible default. There was something I had to do. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Did you create table?
No, but I'm wondering now if like maybe I got some things like for free because I was querying Parquet versus CSVs.
Yeah, it looks like this is actually creating a Parquet. So this would be one way that we could convert like a CSV into Parquet and compare file sizes or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but
ooh, could I just do like columns at some number?
yeah, you probably could.
Is it 0 based or 1 based? Let's find out.
I would assume 0 based.
Okay, there's 87 of this column that equal Afghanistan.
But I could have sworn there's another way that where we could do that by name. But again, maybe that was because maybe with Parquet files, it's getting you're getting a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's probably what it is. With Parquet files, you're getting some advantages there.
Okay, I'm content with that.
I guess in the CSV files, we're just going to have to do it based on the number. But yeah, so what was that one? That one was columns. I think it was 2.
Yep.
Following along. Yeah. So we could do that. Well, we could also do a select distinct. What was the yeah. So select distinct and let's say column, what would be an interesting one? 2, I guess was the country, the location, right?
Yep. And if we did 4, we should probably see the dates. Oh no, that's scary numbers. Yeah, and well, that's awesome that you just happen to be on and join in at the right time. So make sure to smash that sub button. So we're trying to do stuff like this more often, though. I don't know. We'll see when the virus lifts and life gets back to normal. Hopefully soon. I don't know. We may just go outside for a little while, but I'm having a lot of fun streaming, so this is something I want to keep up with.
So yeah, so do column 2 instead.
Okay.
And now, like, I mean, you can see where like this thing's already kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We've done, we did very little. You know, how long have we been streaming now? For like 30 minutes, maybe. Like, we've just done some very basic things that are like very much like queries we've written all of our life. You know, in other. You know, DB2, SQL Server, whatever, MySQL, but yet we're querying a CSV file, and it was pretty quick too, by the way.
Yeah.
Right now, again, our it wasn't like we had a massive, text file that we were looking at here, but you know, so we can't, I guess, get too excited. But yeah, you want to do a sum on that. So maybe if you did select sum.
Oops.
Columns 1.
I broke it. It's not my fault though. I think Kill the Shroom actually hit subscribe and it awesome. It played a super loud noise in my headphones. It scared me and I lost everything. I got startled. Maybe.
Well, you should just be able to like no, just Docker start drill.
It's already up. I just lost it.
Yeah. So this should get you back in there, right?
No.
Or just Docker exec and get back into it.
But what do I exec here? It'll be
drill, and then you could type in SQL line.
SQL line?
Yeah. Take out the bin part there. You got there. Take out the slash too. I
That's
don't think
all
that would be
good.
necessary.
SQL
Line.
line.
Yeah, I've never tried that, but that's technically the SQL line is what you're running in. That was the thing that we were running. So you can just bin bash and then run SQL line.
Okay, bin bash SQL line. Like that?
Or just type off, just delete the SQL line, and when we get
Oh,
into the
okay.
bash, we'll just manually type in SQL line.
Okay, like that.
Oh, never mind, because this is running as root. So I think that the other user was running it as drill. Just like
Ah.
sudo to drill.
What if I just stop it and restart it and copy the file?
Um,
Let's do it.
well, I mean, you can. I didn't want it to do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That's a bit aggressive. But
We
yeah,
should not do this. We should not do that.
I wouldn't. But you did.
Oh, look at all that stuff I had running. I thought I stopped all that earlier.
Well,
Oh, I did all of them in the one CS. I'll do that every time. Okay, sorry. Whew, all right. So what we're gonna do is basically rerun what you did. And now what I like about this though is I can actually paste what we did. So if anyone is interested in following along, here's what we ran. All right, so I'm gonna run this again, and then we need to do the Docker CP again. Oh my gosh! But yeah, so now we. Oh my gosh! Docker RM drill. Just get out of here, drill. So the coding challenge that I do every day is it's been just a leak code challenge, so it's been more like an algorithm. Like I think this morning, what was it? It was I don't remember this morning already, but it'll be like maybe a recursive problem or kind of a harder programming challenge. Doing every day for the month of April. Let's see here. All right. So we're back in here. So what we needed to do though was in another window, like maybe this one. We need to Docker CP desktop train, and this time I'll do the right folder. So we'll do the right file, and we're going to copy it to drill : tmp slash train.csv. And I'll paste that too if it works. All right, cool. All right, cool. Sorry about the delay there. Copy the file. Oh, but unless your username is me, it's not going to work. But I recommend setting your username to me because it works out a surprising number of times. All right, so sorry about that. So where were we? We're doing select star. Well, we did a use first for dfs.tmp. You got to do a semicolon and everything will yell at you. All right, and then we did select star from backticks train.csv. Hey, what's up, Klaus? Nice to meet you. Hope you guys are staying safe and having fun. We are experimenting with different types of content. And also, this is fun. We can't go outside anymore, so we're trying some new things, including messing around with Drill. So by the way, if you are just joining us, so Apache Drill is basically a query engine that can run on different types of files and interact with different types of storage engines. So in theory, you should be able to do things like join data in a CSV against files in JSON format against files in a compressed columnar format like Parque against data in a database. And so Outlaw's definitely got some time in on it, and I'm very new, so I've been doing some dumb things like crashing containers and stuff. We're just kind of doing a little bit of learning and kind of experimenting, so I've already learned quite a bit. And so far, I don't know, Nico, you have to tell me how you feel about it, but I would say that what Outlaw said was true, that basically this learning curve has not been bad. Like, I feel like I don't know, I just feel like I kind of know the kind of stuff I want to do. Like, yeah, there's some things, like I don't know how to address like a CSV by name or little things like that, but overall I think it's been really good.
So I figured something out in the background here.
Okay.
A little change that I made just to make working with the CSV a little bit easier, which was to ignore the first line, since the data file that we happened to get had a header row in it, where like basically the first row of the CSV file was like the name of what the columns were. And that's great, except like that first column was an ID column, right? And let's say I, for whatever dumb reason, I wanted to like do a summation of that. Then I can't do that with that first that header row where it says ID, because that's going to throw an error, right? But there's a little trick, and I'm gonna like copy this in. This is from the drill documentation, so I didn't like have to do anything crazy. And in fact, it's straight from their documentation on specifically using CSV files. But if you have a header file, I'm going to add this into the chat here.
Okay.
Where is this?
Also, cheers. It's a little early for us.
Here's what the one line looks like that I added. So go to your drill UI window.
Okay.
And click on storage. And then click on the next to DFS, click on update.
DFS, clicking on update. Okay.
And then scroll down there in that
nice.
format section, because basically this format section here is telling drill how to play with all the different types of files, right?
Yeah.
And so we have one for so I added it above the limiter just because it had the comma already, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't matter. But yeah, so here we're telling drill in our case to skip the first line. If you had you know, maybe if you didn't have the header file, that would be important to you, so you wouldn't want to do that. You know, by default, it wasn't ignoring that. So, but now what you can do is, for example, I'll share an example query that I wrote here. Let's see.
Okay.
And there would be no real reason to write this query, but what I'm really trying to show isn't anything of value, but the fact that I took that first column that was originally showing up as a string. When we did our select star on it, we were seeing that as a string. So I'm casting that thing as an integer, and then I do a sum on it just to prove that like I can do aggregate level functions on this CSV data.
And you didn't have to group by. Why don't you have to? Oh, because you're not.
I'm not grouping by anything. Yeah, I'm
Can you group by?
I'm just doing a yeah, but well, because I'm not trying to select multiple columns like you are.
Gotcha. So I should probably not do that either. Hey.
But yeah, because the point that I wanted to demonstrate here was like just doing aggregate functions on the data.
Okay, yeah.
As well as we were like changing the data types too. So I was working on here in the background, because you were talking about the ability to make a Parquet file out of this.
Yep.
Right. So we can. So there's this cool thing where we can create it as we can run a query here. Let me get an example. So select. Wait, where's my command line? Limit 10.
Oh my gosh, it worked. Okay, so you know, so we are looking at COVID data, so this might be a little dark. I'm not sure quite what I summed, and I kind of don't want to know. But I was able to group by the date and sum up all the numbers in one of the columns. I'm not sure what column it is. It's a float, so it's got a .0 on it. But I mean, it worked just like I wanted to. It wanted to with just like standard SQL. I was able to group by just like I expected. So I'm loving that I don't have to keep looking up basic stuff I know how to do in some other language.
Yeah, so here's the weird thing though, is if we were going to create this as a Parquet file, I think because of the Parquet format, we would end up like technically creating a schema for it, I think.
Is there like a show schema?
Well, there's show schemas. I don't know about singular, but that's a good question. You could try it.
So schema for the file train.csv.
Let's see. Columns one as.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna like make a query here for us that I'll like.
I bet it's describe. Describe train.csv. Okay, yeah, and then we'll generate. Oh, cool, it worked. Kinda. I mean, I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like we don't know anything about any of the columns in the CSV. So is it doing maybe schema on read, or it's like trying to figure out the? So it noticed earlier that I tried to sum things that weren't numbers. But that's where the cast comes
defaulting to. I think it's just defaulting to these things are strings.
Yep. Okay.
What was the?
Yeah, it's pretty neat. We started looking at Presto a little bit because we wanted to kind of be able to join some things that were just unrelated. Like if I wanted to join a SQL database against Elasticsearch, and we saw people were doing Presto for that. We looked a little bit more, and we saw people were also using Drill, and so we kind of found some articles talking about those, and so now we're looking at Drill a little bit. And so far, I would say the learning curve on Drill has been much better. Presto, the deal is you have to kind of configure some things more up front, like in configuration files. So like you have to kind of tell it a little bit about the systems you're connecting to, and you have to tell it what the schema of the things you're hooking up are. So if you're doing like Elasticsearch, you kind of have to tell it about those fields so it knows what the data types are, and so you could join. And there might be stuff around that. I'm definitely not an expert. I only spent like a couple hours playing around with Presto. But just right off the gate, right off the bat, all the things that I struggled with over there when I got started just kind of melted away over here. So I'm having fun with what I want to do out of it. Do you know how many times? I'm sure you've done this too. You wanted to do something quickly, like say somebody asked you a question about a CSV or a JSON file, and you went and you took that data and you dropped it into, I don't know, the browser, or you wrote a quick little script to just kind of do some work on like a JSON file or something. It seems like this would have been an easier way to do a lot of that.
Yeah, it's really slick.
Yeah, so the skip first line, true, we set that over in the UI. We went over to, it was colon 8047 underneath the storage. Yep. And then we went to DFS, which I assume is like the file system. I don't know what CP stands for, but and then if you click update, we added under format CSV, which is exactly what you asked. Sorry, yes, that's where we added it. And this is how we end up with 2-hour podcasts. Which we edit down to 1 hour and 58 minutes.
Oh, I see what I did wrong. I got like a double.
Oh, that's cool. Check it out. It's got an extension for HTTPD files, so I'm guessing that's going to be like Apache logs.
Mm-hmm. See if
I called it Apache HTTPD logs is what it is.
I was afraid of that one.
Avro, it supports Avro out of the box.
You like that?
Yeah, image. What can you do?
I mean, I guess it kind of needed to support Avro though for Kafka.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking
wrong. Kafka doesn't require Avro, but it's really common. What can you do with images? Can you like query the pixels?
Man, that one I was like super curious. Like, why would you want that? Why would you need that? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the reason.
Wow, I could like sum up the count up the number of red pixels in a picture or something. Do some steganography. Apache Drill images. Oh, you can even do cool stuff with like the metadata from images. That makes sense. You can like maybe get out the location or stuff like that. Oh, they've got an example here. It's of a cat. I'm into it.
Look at that kitty.
I love this cat. His eyes are dilated, man. He's about to mess you up. Okay. Oh, cool. It's got a lot of information about the JPEG, like the color mode, the alpha. Those JPEGs can have duration. Oh, that's cool. So it looks like it's more about the metadata than the actual like, colors or anything. Getting the GPS data. Well, that's cool. So you could like query a bunch of stuff. Height and width.
All right. So.
Oh, whoa! They got a big graph.
This query with everybody that I made. I feel like picture pages, you know. Like, hello, everybody. Here's a query that I wrote.
Yeah.
Come look at my query.
Picture pages.
Here we go. So what I did here was you were asking about the create table as. Where's the chat? And yes, I just saw Gavin's. Yes.
Yep.
Which I think you already commented to.
Yeah, it's good to have it in the chat.
It to the chat as well.
Good to good.
And so here is a command.
Dr. Nick, heck yeah, man. Picture page, time to pick page.
Is that not gonna... Oh, it's too long for the chat. Oh, dang it. By 56 characters. Well, dang.
Oh my gosh, I forgot that it was Bill Cosby.
Oh.
We're gonna have to go back and edit this. We gotta cut that out.
We can't talk about him anymore. I don't think that's allowed.
Oh my gosh, can we swap that with like Reading Rainbow? My man Lamar.
Who's a safe reference nowadays?
LeVar is he's great,
is he?
man. Yeah, he's just a great human. I think we're still cool with him.
I can't put this in the chat because it's too long. So I guess I'm just gonna like. Is there a nice?
Can you describe it to me as if it were a picture?
So the first pixel is red.
Got it.
Oh wait, we're off to a great start. Picture a triangle.
Okay.
See who gets that. So I tell you what. Maybe if I do this as. You know what? I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to like put half the query in the chat. And then go ahead and have the other half at the ready.
Oh, that's some hacking right there.
Boom. So there's the two halves of the query. Put those together. And basically what this is going to do is this will allow us to create a Parquet file from our CSV file.
Okay.
So now if we do select star from that file, which I called train_p.
Okay, train_p. Okay.
And you have this nice table of results now. You shouldn't need to copy anything. Why did you have to copy anything?
I just wanted to look at it in a browser. So I wanted to reverse this. Drill.
You want to look at the Parquet file in a browser?
Well, I wanted to like look at the. I just was curious what the file size was. So I've always heard it's like really efficient.
Yeah. Well, okay. So so we haven't given an update on the Parquet format, or we haven't discussed anything about the Parquet format. But the Parquet format is a columnar storage format. So kind of flipping the data on in. So we had the CSV file where we had like an individual row. In each individual row, we had like, this is the data for this row, right? Whereas in the columnar storage, if I'm saying this correctly, You would instead have like, hey, these are the individual columns and these are which rows have that value.
Yeah.
Right. So totally different way of thinking about it. What was the file size? Was it significantly smaller?
I think it may have errored. I didn't seem to have it. So let's see. But yeah, I've always heard that Parquet is just efficient. But yeah, you know, if you're not familiar with columnar, that's like a super interesting thing. But I don't know that I can explain it any better than I can explain, you know, a graph of a triangle. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you just did.
Yeah, I mean, it basically be like, you know, which rows have, like we're looking at row 1 in the CSV file, which is a row format of the data, and it's like row 1 has a value of Afghanistan for the country, and a date value of this, and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
whereas
so
in a columnar storage, you might have here's like, if you were to think about this data in like a textual format, you would say like, oh hey, here's country region. Which rows have, or yeah, which rows have the value Afghanistan? And it'd be like, oh, 1 has it, 2 has it, 3 has it, right?
yeah, so like I'm doing it in just a little notepad here. So this is like row format. If we had like a CSV in United States, I don't want to implicate any countries here, you know. So yeah, so that's like a row format if you had like a CSV, whatever. But yeah, just like Alice said, if you have a columnar format, then it'll be something more like, I'm never gonna be able to type that again. You'll have one column for the country, and then it'll be like something like, you know, 0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
And then, you know, whatever that other number is, like 11D. That was
a much better way of explaining it than what I was trying to do.
And then like 4, 5, 6, you know, something like that. So the deal, yeah. So as you can see, just right here, like we only have this value one time, which is much more efficient, like size-wise, if you've got repetitive data. So that's really good, and it's also it just happens to be really good for doing analytics, by which I mean like math operations, aggregates, summing, counting, because what it means if we're trying to kind of filter and doing stuff is we can do bitwise operations, and I don't know how to really draw that too well, but just when it comes to you know, counting, like when you think about, if I just want to count how many Afghanistans there are, obviously in the row format I have to go 1, 2, 3, or, you know, finally through all of them and count 4, or I have to keep some sort of data structure for like analytics. And then for the columnar format, it's just the length. So we could just, you know, this is going to be binary or whatever, so it's going to be much faster to count. It's going to be like an array operation. So we already have like really good tools and techniques for doing analytics type stuff with this format. Oh, hey, and we got Gavin's saying,
I think it was, to put it back in more database type terminology, if you bring back up your notepad that you had there.
Ooh,
if you didn't close it.
I closed it.
Oh, okay. Well, no worries. But in that row format version that you had there, like in order to do the count of like how many lines, how many rows have United Stew in the other format, you had to scan the entire file to do that count. Whereas in this in the columnar format, that format knows what columns are available. So you know, you could go to the United States one, and you only have to like parse that one line to do the count, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it gains some of its efficiencies. So using that select line that I gave you, what you're doing there is we're kind of cheating, because we are selecting this CSV and we're defining things as, you know, casting things as like, hey, these are going to be floats, these are going to be dates, these are going to be ints. So in that regard, we kind of like did create a schema, but in order to convert it to the Parquet format. But you can kind of see like it's still kind of cool though that like with little effort we now got the data into a second format, right? That we could go and play with, right? And but now, because it's in that Parquet format, now you can do things by column name. So if you wanted to say select distinct country, what was it, country region, I tried to keep the names similar to what was already in train CSV, but date is a reserved word, and so I named it data date. That's the only one that was named different. But yeah, so
Data
you
date.
should be able
Okay.
to do select distinct country region from, and then in the backticks, and I named it train_p in mine. What did you name yours? Did you name yours train.p?
I did train
That was
dot
probably
p.
a better name. That was a better name.
I
Good
don't know, I
job,
like it.
Jay.
Hey, by the way,
You,
so
Colin.
I had a. Oh yeah, hey, that just worked. Thailand's got a star by it. I know it's because like somebody doesn't recognize Taiwan. Just want to say real quick. So I looked on my system. So train.csv was 1,038 kilobytes, and Gavin, Nico was able to run that and it got 941K. So not a huge savings. I'm guessing most of that probably came from the repeated columns, like the country and the dates primarily, and the numbers probably didn't compress too well. And
We all got
also,
different sizes.
oh, that's
You
interesting.
had, what was yours?
I never,
for train?
it failed to copy out,
well,
but I could look in Linux, right?
Just exec into your Docker container.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, there you go. And then just like ls temp.
Yeah, that's better.
Well, you'll need a -L on it if you want to see the size.
I do. Sure.
And what was yours? Oh, /temp.
/temp.
Oh, wait, no, you were in /temp already.
Yeah, I did something weird though.
Oh, but you know what? That's right. It's a directory. Duh. I made that mistake.
Oh yeah, so the size that I got is 4096.
For the directory, though.
For the directory. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I made the same mistake. You're in good company, or at least the same company.
Oh, and that's why it didn't copy for me. Okay. I just tried to look at Windows.
So I'm a little bit bigger than what Nico said, because I had 962.
That's funny. I got 944K. Well, that's the good thing about Docker is that things run exactly the same on any computer that you run it on.
No. You got the same. No, you got the same. But you're looking at.
Oh yeah, the total. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. So absolutely. So all of that just to say, yeah, totally, you got it right, Nico.
Yeah, and we don't know what we're talking about, and math is hard. Yeah, if I do a ls minus lh on that, then I do see the 941K that was there. So. And
then Christoph said, and hello Christoph, I don't believe we met before, but hey, you can try extract header after skip first line in order to get those column names correctly. So we could try that in a minute here, but
if we were to do the I guess you're referring to if we did the create table as option instead of having to do all this cast. But I wonder then in that case, how would all the casting work? Would we still have to do the casting? I'm assuming we would need to.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah,
because otherwise, how would it know what I wanted as a date versus a float?
You know, we could find out.
But yeah, so the point is, like, now you have it in this Parque format, and oh, hi,
Goulet. I apologize if I said that wrong. Please feel free to and please do
correct us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the point is that, like, remember that gross dumb query that I wrote before where I wanted to, like, just do a summation of the IDs for no good apparent reason.
Yeah.
But just to prove that I could do an aggregate function on it. Now I should just be able to do a select. Oh, wait, that's the wrong window. No wonder that's not working. I should be able to just do select sum and then ID from bang train _p, and it should work. You casted yours unnecessarily. Well, because you're doing it from the CSV. Okay, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah,
but
I was just trying to see.
If you were to select from your Parquet file instead, then you should be good.
I had to know if this worked for the header.
Yeah. Which that one should work, assuming that you are ignoring your header. So it's gross, it's dumb, it doesn't provide any real value. But the cool thing is that you're demonstrating here. It's from a CSV file. We're casting a particular column, and we are doing an aggregate function on it as well. So
Yeah, and there's some lag there, but Christoph, we got it figured out. Yeah, and you were exactly right about that. So now we can do this much slicker. So that's all it took in order to get that header like that. So that's awesome. I'm very happy about that. Oh yeah, and
Wait, so
so
you're still querying the CSV, but what did you?
yeah, I've been confusing everybody by just still querying the CSV. So we added that setting that Christoph mentioned to in order to get the headers. So now we don't have to do columns.
To your DFS plugin.
Yep. Yeah, and I'll show you again. Basically, just by the way, if you're still just joining us, we are experimenting with Apache Drill, which is a query engine that you can use to query different data stores. That could be a file, it could be a database, it could be a bunch of different stuff. So,
but now the cool thing is, let's see, like if I
extract header.
do extract header true, and then change skip line to false.
Ooh, will automatically do it. It worked exactly like I expected. I guess we might have lost a line.
That skip first line though, I don't know if that was
Gotcha.
So let's see, can I do select distinct country?
And do we see country region in the list?
From train CSV.
Let's
see if that works.
So cool.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, Christoph for the win.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Okay.
So either way, it looks like either way would work now. So yeah, we have two cool ways. You could either skip the first line and then still refer to it by the column ordinal, or you could just say extract.
Yeah.
The header.
Yeah, and class looks like we can use a delimiter. In this case, we're still using commas, but we could change it if we had some different kind. So that's really nice. And so just to kind of get back to what we were talking about is we converted the file from CSV to P to Parquet, which is a columnar data storage file format that's a little smaller in this case, but should usually, the more data you have, the better you're going to get savings-wise. But it allows us to do some things a little bit faster, and Drill just supports it out of the box. So we're able to query now train_P. Is that it?
That's what I named it as, but I did like your .p was a much better name. But yeah, whatever. But I mean, it's going to create a folder for that anyways. It's going to put like the .parquet files in.
I was just curious which one's faster. So it does appear that the P is a little bit faster, but this is not a scientific test. So I wonder if I do.
But count. No, but I mean, it makes sense. We would expect that it would be though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the just being a more efficient file format.
Yeah, one's about 0.11, the other one's like 0.12. So not huge, but it does seem to be pretty consistent.
But we also have like a relatively small data set too, though. Like if we were to do like what's the total? Select count one from train CSV. Like what are we talking about in total here? We're talking about 27,000 rows total.
Okay.
So
that's pretty fast though.
Not a whole lot. Well, it is when you consider that like just this random CSV file that we're doing. So now, so now we've done this. Like, what can we do that would be cooler? Like, what are some other cool things that we could do with this?
We could join it.
What would we join it on yet? Let's see. I wonder. Just doing some experimentation here. Where? What was the name of that column?
I was gonna look at Kaggle and see if there's any other country data we could grab. Whoa.
Oops, that was about.
What about country population?
Oh, I like that. Yeah, but we would want them to match on the name, but it looks like that should be okay.
Yeah, it looks like there'd be a few that probably wouldn't work out right. But
can you put that link out there?
Yeah.
So we can grab that data too.
Okay, there you go.
Boom. Let's download that guy.
Is this machine learning? You've seen the meme with the guy with like the butterfly? It's like, is this
No.
machine learning? It's like my country names don't match exactly. Is this machine learning? All right.
That's pretty good. How can I not download this file? What am I doing wrong?
Let's see.
What is wrong with my brains? There we go. Download. And let's take a look at that guy. Oh, that's a beauty.
Heck yeah.
So let's CP that guy into our container.
So there's population.
Or CP. What was it called? Population.
Population by country underscore blah blah.
Yeah, I'm just going to put that into the same temp directory since Docker already knows by default how to work with files in that directory. Just to keep things simple.
Yeah.
All right, and if I do a show files, do I see it? No. What did I do wrong?
Oh my gosh, I'm making a mess. I'm just gonna name mine population. That's CSV.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to read. That's a good idea. And this would be a good time to remind myself mostly that the rename command in Linux is not rm.
Yeah. Well, I wish you never even put that in my brain. Now there's a chance. Let's see here.
So now can I do a select star from population?
Wow, this is cool. So we get like net change, density. We have this population density. So that's cool. So if I was better at math, I could do something cool like, hey, let's see the the morbidity count in the one file, join against this and compare it to like say population size and population density, which is really cool. That's really cool.
So let's see if we do a select star from. I'm just going to go from the CSV file for the time being. I don't care about the Parquet file for the moment.
Sure.
And then as join population.
All right, hold on, Klaus. Let me try. Klaus says to try remove rm-rf/. Let's see what happens when I run that. Just kidding. It'll probably be fine.
Have you seen the? Have you seen like the kind of hacks where there'll be stuff on like a web page like, hey, here's the command.
Oh.
And if you copy and paste it, you won't see it. There's like hidden characters, and then you just paste it in, and like other things that you didn't want to have happen.
Yep. When was the last time you tried to run rm/r?
On the root?
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever done that.
Let's see here. I'm gonna try it. Oops. Oh, okay. I forgot the sudo. I don't want to mess up my WSL. But yeah, they actually added an option a couple years ago with like another flag to like try and protect you. It's pretty funny. All right.
All right. So this is where. Oh wait, I messed up my.
See, we're in Windows too, so you can say you can zoom in on your screen with Alt F4. Also, don't do that, especially not while we're streaming. All right, so I got distracted. Ah. so we select.
So I did select star from train as T, join population as P on T dot country region equal P dot country or dependency limit 10, just to like see if my query syntax is wrong. And I think this is where we're going to run into some issues with the data types of each format.
Okay.
So I'm going to try let me just see if I do an explicit cast on each of those, which is kind of annoying.
Country region equals. I'm just going to do something kind of similar here. P dot country or dependency okay. Oh, country region is ambiguous. That's awesome. Man, I remember back in the day, you used to be able to go to like a Walmart and buy a virtual RAM program. And you would run the program and it would give you effectively more RAM, and it actually kind of worked. It would use disk space, but it actually it did make things a lot better, and it would let you run programs that you weren't able to run before. So country region was ambiguous, so I'll say train version, sure. Limit
Boom.
10.
Okay. So this command worked for me, but it didn't. But worked here is with an asterisk because it technically returns without error, but it doesn't return back the results that I want.
So I think I have some
how did
results.
You get yours? Let's see.
I just joined, so I'm just right now I'm just getting the country region.
Join work. Mine didn't.
What did you join on?
I joined on country region equal country or dependency, just like you did.
Oh yeah.
But mine required, if I didn't have the cast in there.
Should be a string.
Let me try it again. Yeah, well that's.
I forget what it looks like.
I will say, let's see. I'll try this again. Maybe it'll work this time. No, I'm still getting the error. Join only supports implicit cast between blah blah blahs. Let me see your command again. Oh. Join from. Oh, but you're going from your Parquet file.
Oh yeah, I did.
I wonder if I'd go from my Parquet file. No.
This. Encountered a T.
Oh, weird. If I put T dot star in there though, instead of just select star, then it doesn't error out, but it still doesn't return back any meaningful rows. Well, that's frustrating. What is different between yours and mine? Well, you have a distinct in there. I don't. You have from train P as T, join population as P.
Oh, sorry, I closed it.
On T dot country region. Maybe I have a typo in there.
I don't know why you would get no results though. That's weird.
I'm thinking I have a typo. That's got to be what it is. Let me just select the first few rows from population.
Oh, geez.
Limit 10. And I'll just copy and paste that guy in there. Maybe I had a typo. Oh, I did. There was a double underscore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what it was. Okay. So, so yeah. Now that's the downside to running uh, drill versus Presto, for example.
Right.
Because with Presto, because you're defining that schema up front, you wouldn't have this problem. But with drill, because we're not defining any schemas, it'll let you like write queries for things that might not necessarily be there. And like you saw in that previous command that I shared in the chat,
Uh-huh.
but because I casted something and that thing didn't really exist, drill was just happy to be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to join on anything, but yeah, I'm not going to error about it either. Right. So there were
Right.
situations to where you can reference quote columns that don't exist, and drill will happily not tell you that that it's
That's
not really
funny.
there.
Good,
And then
and that
there's
makes
other
sense,
scenarios
yeah.
where it will. And the reason why I did the cast in the first place was because of the error that I was getting back made it read like, hey, there's this, I can't do these implicit casts. You got to tell me what you want.
Uh-huh.
And specific to GUIDs, or depending on, if you're not coming from a .NET world, like a universally unique ID,
Uh-huh.
um, then drill, if you were to try to do like this GUID equals that GUID as your join clause or even your predicate,
Yeah.
then it's like, nope, I don't know how to treat these things.
Right. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's casting is definitely pretty annoying. But is this machine learning? That's the kind of stuff I hear machine learning people talk about all the time. It's like little, like spend a lot of time sanitizing the data. And the algorithms are like often already kind of written.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what am I
Well,
doing
I
wrong
mean,
here?
like my um take on it has been that uh it's more about the data science. Like that's where the complication is. Like that's where the sciencey part is, because for the majority of us, we're not going to be writing our own machine learning algorithms. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
use things that are already out there, but understanding the data and trying to get the data to where we want, and like, and then trying to like make reason of some of those results. That's where it's going to be complicated.
Yeah, I have a hard time with all of it.
Yeah.
It's all hard.
So now we got this data we can join on, and I'm just joining on my CSVs files. I'm not even using the Parquet files, but what we could do now is say select, like, let's say maybe we want to know select T dot country region.
Got that. I've got the density, and I'm summing the confirmed cases. But I've got a typo that I just added when I added my second
Yeah, what have we
column.
got?
It doesn't seem to like so it worked fine when I had one column. So the join works. It just adding the second column. I don't know if it does like my comma or.
Actually, you know what? I am going to use my train Parquet file. So train underscore P for me, so that I don't have to do that cast on the confirmed cases.
I was gonna try running this in the UI, and I should for people who just joined, there's actually a UI for all of this too. It just it's not as cool. So select. That stuff looks good. Oh my gosh, I put the comma in a weird spot. I had an extra comma. Okay, well now I have a different issue. Object P, train P not found. Oh, and that's because I didn't have the use. Okay, so this is cool. This is cool. I can work with this. Alright, so I had totally nowhere near where I was actually looking for the problem. There's an errant comma. And there we go. Unfortunately, all the data is null for that density column. Why? How did that happen? If I look in here, it's got data, so I don't know why it would have been null there.
Did you have the double underscores?
I must have typed it wrong. I thought I pasted it though. t.density underscore underscore p underscore km underscore underscore. I was going to try running this in the UI, but I have to tell it to use dfs.temp first. That, I think, was the problem.
You will need to do that, yeah.
So we're... Oh, or I have to do it...
Like, do it all together.
Okay, so use dfs.tmp, another line. There we go.
So I got a query that does include the density.
Okay.
So I can include... I'm going to add this to...
Confirm cases.
Let's see. Here's this. Oh man, it's again too long.
Hey, and if you're out there too, while we're messing with this, please let us know if you like this sort of thing. Like, we're still, you know, kind of new to this whole streaming thing and figuring out, like, trying to find the intersection of things that we like doing and the things that you might be interested in. So let us know any thoughts you have on it.
I'm breaking the query up again so that I can get it all in there, but here's the two parts of it. And so for me, that works, and hopefully it will for you too.
Okay, put it in the chat. Should it be... So you already have T density. Should it not be P dot density?
Yeah, that's what I have in mind that I just shared.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I didn't see what you shared.
Do you not see it in the chat?
I do not see it in the chat.
Man, that's frustrating.
I don't know. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I'll never understand YouTube then. But
Goodbye.
yeah, so what we could do now, we have these data. So now if we wanted to say where...
Oh, is it two statements? No.
What was that thing called? Density underscore P.
Man, what did I do wrong in the UI? Like, I've got the query. It looks good.
Where do we want the density to be greater than? Let's say greater
than 0. All right, Christoph. What did I do wrong here?
What did you got? T.country P cast. So you don't need to cast on your Parquet file if you use the query that I gave earlier.
I didn't ever see that one.
You never saw the one I did earlier either?
Oh, I mean, maybe that one. And thanks, Nico, by the way. That was really nice.
Yeah, thank you. Are you never seeing the queries that any of the messages I'm putting in the YouTube?
Oh, I did see some way earlier, but it was not as cool as mine.
Well, no, I meant, wow, there's a jab.
It was the use that didn't work.
No, the query to create the Parquet file. Did you use the query to create the Parquet file, or did you create your own?
How do you not know this? I thought we were screen sharing.
Well, I'm trying to follow along with you, and so like I'm getting lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm just messing around, man. But yeah, so I ran it in the UI. I didn't like how I was doing the using, so I was really curious to see. So like we got some results here, and now in the UI I can do stuff like sort, which is just a little bit easier in typing it. So surprised to see that Monaco's got the highest density, but because of how we joined, it's possible that maybe like China or something, if it had its name spelled differently, may not have joined. So I don't know if that's actually true or not, but it's interesting.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the density is going to be a function of the population and the size.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So that's actually not too surprising that they would have a high density, right? Like if it's a heavily populated area for a small area, right? Like, and these are countries, so we're not. That's why we're not seeing something like a New York or a San Francisco or something.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So, yeah, I think that makes sense that it would work out like that, right?
Yeah, so okay, so we do have China in here. So I just looked up confirmed cases, and you can kind of compare that to density. So I don't know an easy way of kind of saying like, well, I guess we just wanted to see the ratio, right? So if you wanted to see who's got the densest, basically the most confirmed cases, we would take the density and divide by the confirmed cases, and that would tell us basically who's got like the worst ratio. So, for example, we can see that Italy is actually more dense. You know, I don't know if is density big or little. Is more dense? Yeah, more dense means yeah. So it's got a higher. So I just always had heard that China had a really dense population, but I'm surprised to see Italy actually is ranked as being a higher density, and they have less cases. So I was kind of
But
surprised to
they're
see that.
smaller landmass though.
Right.
Like China's huge in comparison, landmass wise. So that's why their density would be smaller
Yeah, that makes
for
sense
their
to me.
population size compared to Italy.
I've just heard how often, so I've heard so much about Italy, but when I'm just looking at the densities, I was kind of surprised to see, like, say Germany is more dense, but they've also, well, yeah, Germany's doing much better according to this. But I was just surprised to see that China is less dense than Italy, but has many more confirmed cases. So yeah, you want to try doing the ratio here?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to like share my queries though to you since you're not getting any of them. Like, I
Yeah.
won't put them in the YouTube chat,
Okay.
which I kind of hate doing, but um,
Yeah, I'll make this available too. I'll save this query and whatever other queries.
because this is where I was at on mine. And so I don't know. Did you get that?
Nope.
Oh, because I guess you're not seeing Hangouts.
I was just looking at the profiler real quick. Oh yeah, I'm not seeing Hangouts, but I can.
I mean, it's no worries. I was just trying to figure out a way, like since the YouTube chat doesn't seem to be reliable here, I wonder maybe like YouTube is.
About Hastebin. Yeah, that's probably the case. So Hastebin is a super easy site. You could just paste in your stuff. You basically say new, paste, and then save, and there you go. So there's my query.
Hey, scroll up. You didn't see any of my queries ever, did you?
I saw this when the one that you split.
Oh, just that one. Because I was beginning to think, like, I wonder if YouTube is like, nope, he's trying to do SQL injection. We're not going to, we're not gonna share that.
They're right. Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're trying to hacksaw.
Yeah, you're trying to take over our computers.
Yeah, but if you do Hastebin, so it's like paste bin but with an H, then it's not that bad.
Yup. So,
Which, by the way, I forget who told me about this, but it was on a stream that I discovered. Well, I didn't discover. Someone else shared with me Hastebin. Yeah, so been experimenting with a couple different formats while you're studying that. So I've done some coding challenges. We've done some what we call exploratory. So like this drill, we did some stuff with Apache Beam, and we're gonna do some pair programming on Apache Beam coming up. Also done a little bit of pair programming with Mad Viking God and some project work with QIT. So those are the kind of three formats. Basically, project work, kind of like learn how to do something, like with us kind of learning too. And also just coding challenges. So those are the kind of three formats. So if you have a preference for one of those three formats or whatever, then let us know.
Yeah, so see if that works.
Okay.
Did you get that link now?
No.
Can I finally? Dang it.
Are you like leaving comments for us or something?
I'm in the live chat window. How is it I can use Drill but I can't use YouTube?
Yeah.
What kind of world is this?
Yeah, that's how easy Drill is to use.
It's easier than YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Let's try.
Do I refresh the screen, maybe?
I think you're gonna have to describe it like
Go
it's a
to
picture.
live chat.
Yes, we don't. So what we need to do is set up a web server.
Yeah, see.
We should jam stack this though, honestly, because
Yeah.
I don't want it to go down. It needs to support a billion concurrent users.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna do that too, I mean, honestly, it might as well be a progressive web app too. That way, you can work offline.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it makes sense.
And we should set up the deployment server first before anything, because we should just do DevOps from day one.
You know what? And it's 2020, so you got to think about security.
That's right. That's right.
Let's use an Okta service for authentication, and that way, if you want to like sign in with your Facebook or Google or Apple, whatever.
That's true. And we need to do security in depth and during design, development, and deployment. So we should really start threat modeling before we even start coding to get this started off right. And we should probably have a third-party company come in and audit us.
That's actually a fair point too. I mean, you can't take security for granted.
Or we could just play Overwatch.
Okay, so yeah, I don't understand why you guys can't ever see anything I type. This is a test. Did that one go through?
Yeah.
My God, why did that one go through, but everything else I've done hasn't?
Oh my gosh! So in the background, while we were goofing around, I made it, I divided. So now we can see the highest. We can sort by the highest ratio to population density. So, or rather, I got the ratio. Ration. You can tell that I play more video games than I talk about ratios. And then I sorted. Oh. Am I only sorting like the first page? Yeah, hold on here. I don't trust this anymore.
Yeah, do your sort in the query.
Yeah. Order by. Ooh, can I do this? Or do I have to do the whole thing again?
I think you could just say column 2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so this.
Wait, we're still seeing Canada as high.
Because I did not do descending either. Descending. Oh, do you think maybe this just didn't work? So I'll just do column 2 like that. Okay, yeah. So doing it column 2, yeah. So previously we were not.
Where did Canada go though?
Yeah, Canada had
was
9.
9 point something.
How is it that we can use drill?
How's it you can use YouTube and you can't use drill?
Well, check this out. Yeah, that's funny. So it's exponent. Scientific notation. So yeah, that 9 is like.
It's really small, actually.
Yeah. Okay. And so this is probably not sort. Yeah. So this is sorting correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
So Monaco has the worst ratio.
Don't go to Monaco is the lesson I'm learning.
Yeah, for real. We had a friend who's supposed to be going to Bali too. I don't know where that is actually. So I probably shouldn't.
If anyone's ever listened to this show, you know I'm an expert at geography.
Yeah. Is Bali near?
So I'm pretty sure that Bali is next to Florida.
Google doesn't even know where Bali and Monaco is, so yeah, I don't know what to do. But yeah, Nico, you're probably right. The query is probably wrong. I hope that the spirit of the query is correct, though. We're not really trying to.
I'm not sure if the query is right though. Let's see what we got going on here.
I took the density divided by the sum of the confirmed cases for all the dates that we had for the countries. Did I do something wrong, Nico? Group by region.
Do you need that other? Do you need the density in there for the group by if you're just going to do a? Well, I guess it's not an aggregate function though.
Because the confirmed cases are not quite right.
What's wrong with the confirmed cases?
I cast them as a float, not an int. I don't know if that matters.
Well, you don't have to do that cast though if you're going against the Parquet file though.
Oh, really? Okay. So let's just sum Get rid of the cast.
And you
Yeah.
don't need that as int. Yeah.
Yeah, that's much better. Still seeing similar results. Should only have taken the last. Oh, good call. Good call.
Confirmed cases. Oh.
Because the confirmed cases always go up. It's not confirmed cases per day. It should have been the max.
Yes.
How do we do
well,
that?
no, not the max. The last date. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, because the number could theoretically go down.
So
if
basically,
they
what you could do is write a subselect to just get the last date, to get the max date for each data set from train P.
Yeah.
And then, well,
we'll write that. I just wanted to see what the results were like when we did it this way too. So it looks like not too much different, but yeah, I don't really know how to interpret that number, but it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't think we can interpret this number because we're still doing like whatever.
Yeah,
so like correct. If you had like a really high, so if you'd already peaked, then you were. I forgot that this data set, the train data set, was a daily data set.
Yep. So what we need to do is select, and what was that field name? All right, this is gonna get weird.
Confirmed cases and date, but date is gonna be reserved word. So, well, I guess t.date should work.
We'll call it T2. T2 dot confirm cases from this. Oh yeah, but we could rewrite this even better.
Well, write it. Go ahead, write it.
Yeah, we'll just write it this way. But yeah.
Yeah, because then we can still explore with like the profiler.
Where T2 dot.
You want the You want max T2 dot date.
T2 dot date. But didn't you call it date dot date or something?
Oh yeah, data date in the Parquet file. Yes.
T2,
sorry.
Okay, data date like that.
Yes.
Okay, and it's where T2's dot data date equals max of T1 dot data date. Did I do that right? I'll fix the typo. Yeah, and good call, Nico. I didn't even see that at all. I didn't even think about it. Let's try it. Validation error line 6. Aggregate is illegal in where clause.
Oh, that would make sense.
Oh, yeah, okay. So.
Well, I mean, what you could want to do, I mean, it'd be easy to reason about, but it would be kind of gross, is if you just wanted to have one data set that was like the max date for each country code.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you did a subselect, or whatever, some data set that was the.
I think this will do it, right? Oh, desk. But it's gonna do a string. I think the date is not actual date, so we'll see. But
no, but it's Parquet format, so it is a date.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so again, Monaco's up high. Singapore
jumped up.
Singapore did jump up. So that's interesting. But overall, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that result. I don't know how accurate that is, so don't write a news article or whatever based on the results here.
This just in.
Yeah. And I think U.S. was spelled different, so we're not going to be able to see that for United States. China's way down. Like, good job, China, if we're correct.
Search the column. Search.
U.S. United Kingdom, but no states.
Type in Americas.
America.
What?
Well, so I joined. Let's take a look at that quick. Maybe we can fix this. So I joined the population based on country region equals country region, but I think one of them might have been like named United States and the other was like US or something. So this one has United States, and the other file had, the population one has United States. Where'd it go?
You didn't open it yet, did you?
I thought I did. Okay, I'm just gonna close this. I don't know what's going on there. Country. Let's go down to the bottom. Go back up. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of countries. United Kingdom, but yeah, it's definitely not United States, so the names don't match. America? State. So maybe this just doesn't have US in it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Select.
Yeah, we can always do the distinct, yeah.
Select distinct. What was that called? Country / region.
Is the US not reporting its numbers like that?
What was that data called? Train P?
Yep.
Oh, it's just US.
Okay. That's weird. I didn't see. Oh, I guess it's probably not in alpha. I assumed it was in alphabetical order, but it doesn't have to be. So I guess we could hack our query and basically say where. I mean, if we just wanted to see US, we could do it, but I want to see it in comparison to others. So basically, on the join, it would be an or. And oh man, look! I did the worst thing. I did the worst thing that you can do in SQL.
Yeah, you mixing your cases.
Yeah, some are caps or some are not. Man, I'm so sorry.
Well, that's bad. But what would have been worse is if you had like the first letter of every keyword was uppercase and everything else was lowercase.
You're right. That is the worst.
When I see that, my eyeballs want to puke.
Oh man, yeah. Ugh. Or so we'll do some parentheses here. I'm gonna be amazed if this just works like this. So the T was the one where it was US. And
yes.
P dot this equals United States. Unsupported operation. The query cannot be planned due to Cartesian join or inequality. Or an inequality join. Maybe you have to like union it in.
Yeah, you might be better.
This and this. Okay, yeah, let's just do it that way then. Alright, let's see if that works. Union. Well, it doesn't matter. Union.
You're going to have to put that order by outside of that, though.
Yeah.
Remove that line 13.
So line 13. Okay. Is good. Okay. And so we're doing our select, we're doing that. But here, I want to join this just on this and this. So that and that?
I think so.
Okay. Sorry, close chat here for a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see if that works. I feel like I should have parentheses or something, but I do need a semicolon. Oh my gosh. Unsupported operation.
It's the same problem.
Yeah, probably. Maybe it's like a typo or something. Jeez. So let's see if either query works in isolation now. Okay, that looks like results. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, we can still get to it by history, right?
Yeah, you can go to profiles and see your previous query.
I only copied half of it. All right. Okay, so if we go back to query and then run, I'm gonna just stick this out. I've got Hastebin already open. Let me just do that. All right. So we're in query. Now I'm just gonna look at the second query and see if this one works. No. Okay. So is it the and? Why doesn't the back work? join. The only thing that's kind of funky.
Maybe just do instead of a join, just do it as a where predicate. Well, no, I guess that still wouldn't work.
Yeah, I
right?
still have to join.
Yeah,
it's weird. Hey, we don't even need country region, right? We don't even need the T table in this case. No.
yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. And we need the density. Oh yeah, we could just change the file. That's true. I don't really know how to do that. Linux. I could just copy it in. Yeah, that's much easier. I might just do that. I just want to see the answer. Drill. Population.
Let me look at something real quick.
I'll change it in the CSV.
See, drill.
All right, Nico to the rescue again. All right, I'm going to copy in that as that. Yep. All right. And that way we don't have to recreate the Parquet file. And then I'll run it over here. Did I lose? Yeah, I lost it. But I got it over here. Now I don't need to do the whole thing. I could just do that. All right. And we got it. Let's see here. I want to view all. Confirmed cases. All right.
Did you put, well, you had that search capability at the, there you go.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. So are we really way down there? That's pretty good.
But is it though? That seems weird because, I mean, maybe that's just a function of like America isn't as populated as like a China or an India.
Oh yeah.
But we are still big land-wise.
So maybe I should
So
pop
that would affect our
that.
density.
I still want to see the raw numbers. Like that would help us know if we did the math wrong too. So we'll look at the density and we'll look at the whatever this number was. I don't really know how to.
Which one are you looking at?
Just the confirmed cases. Yeah. So I think that is good. Okay, so now if we go down, sorry for being so US centric.
Wait, but confirmed cases is like being repeated over and over and over. Something's wrong.
Oh, you're right. Because I didn't group by it. Is that right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This is a big mistake. I never checked the country. I literally just got.
That's okay. It got past both of us.
Wow. Nico, I was really looking to you for the sort of QA. Come on, man.
Yeah. You let us down.
Oh my gosh. So we're T2 dot country. Or no, it's P. No, it's T. Sorry. T dot this equals T2 dot that. Equals T2 dot that. Okay. Well, I'm glad we checked that. One more time. Where T dot country region.
You'll need to add whatever we do here for
the second
line above line 14.
Yep. Okay, get that ratio correct. So it didn't like this though, where the T dot region equals the T2 dot country region. I kind of expected that to be correct. Okay, but somehow I ruined everything.
Yeah, but that makes sense though, because if the first query isn't running, then of course it's going to null out the second one.
Right. Man, that's so close. I would think.
Yeah, it's not jumping out at me.
United States. Country region equals country region.
Wonder, maybe drill doesn't allow you to pass in the T value isn't getting passed in.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm wondering. Kind of what I'm thinking there.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised to see null though.
wonder, hey, you got a haste bin for that query?
I
want
will
to try rewriting it myself.
All right, new haste bin coming.
We'll see if this ever, if YouTube commenting will ever let me see it. All right, so there's that.
Well,
It's my.
So maybe Monaco isn't so bad. Sorry, Monaco, for the bad rap.
It's all Joe's fault.
What the heck? I feel like subquery should work. With. Oh, do you have to write like a CTE? We could have written it like that. Wow, I'm just impressed that Drill supports CTEs. Like, that's pretty awesome. Is it worth rewriting this as a CTE?
Maybe. Let's see. Trying to write this in my own dumb way.
All right, well, I'll start on the subquery or the CTE version. And I'm surely going to butcher this because I'm not great at them anyway. So Apache Drill is, I've heard of it used for kind of ad hoc queries. So if you're trying to explore some data, like big data situations, but there's nothing to stop you from kind of using it for kind of repeatable stuff too. Like anywhere you would use SQL basically, except that you can query across different data storage types. So we can join, say, a Postgres database against Elasticsearch against files on disk. And so what we're kind of experimenting with here now is joining a file in a Parquet format, which is a columnar way of storing data. Let me see if I can find a nice picture here. So I shut down my window. Yeah, so this column on the right here is columnar. So it's just a different way of formatting the file, and we're joining that against CSV, and then we're using COVID-19 data just because. And so what we're trying to do is basically, in this, in our use cases, basically try to find the countries that have the worst ratio or the best ratio for population density to reported cases of coronavirus. But that's just like one example where, like, if we were doing like this, like for a job, whatever, like I would probably just pull all this data into like a SQL server or a Postgres and just do all my work there. But if you've got like a big data situation where you've got like really huge files, like say terabytes or petabytes, and you've got it in different formats, you don't necessarily want to transform all that data because then you have to keep it in sync and all sorts of stuff. It's just a lot of data to manage. So if you can leave it in its native format and still query it and use something like like a drill and run that on a cluster to distribute the work and still get accurate answers and be able to increase the speed dynamically by adding more workers. And so you can have control over how fast that runs. And that's like really powerful for just processing big amounts of data without having to worry about transferring data and syncing and doing a bunch of ETL. And for what we're doing today, we were hoping to basically show that you can use it for kind of like these kind of ad hoc queries too. Oh yeah, and thanks, Nico. I just saw the sed. That's awesome. So it's been a long time since I've done anything with sed. Oh yeah, and I got distracted. So I was going to try and write a subquery. Do you have an example? Yes. With current data, sure. As you know, honestly, SQL is so predominant, like in most places. There are industries and places where NoSQL is, you know, kind of used a lot. But I still think almost everyone I know has some sort of relational database kicking around. So if you're looking for which one to start with, I would recommend using like just SQL, so like a MySQL or a Postgres or something like that, just to get started, because it's just so common. And when it comes to NoSQL, there's a lot of choices that really kind of vary your querying options. But when it comes to relational databases, the language that you write is very similar. So like in this case, I'm writing SQL from like a relational perspective, and it works for something that's, you know, weird. Let's do different kinds of stuff. Oh, what does this do, Klaus? Allow for joins and drill. Ooh. Is that, what does the NL stand for? Oh, nonlinear. Oh, I'm going to try this. Okay. Alter system set. And then I can kind of go back in history a little bit. Do I have this open somewhere still? Yeah, so hey, by the way, anyone in the chat room, if you've got perspectives on like relational versus NoSQL, like which one you should learn as a junior developer, I'd love to see it. Let's see if I can go back in history and find that query. No, I can get it from this history though. I just don't know which one it is. Let's try this one. Density, nope, so it's after that one. Let's see here. So this is before we found the problem, so this will be the one. 1746. Oh my gosh, it's 156. So we've been streaming for a while. Time flies when you're having fun, huh? Yeah, we've been on for 2.5 hours streaming. And then there was like an hour of playing Overwatch first. Sorry, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out this other version of it that I was working on and like why it's not working. Oh, I see. I got a typo in there.
Okay, so this is the one that... So this is the one where it said we might need to have the setting for when we alter the system. Oh yeah, I could try running this. I don't quite understand yet how like this query sessions work. Like, so if I try running it like this, does that do it? Let's see here. Maybe that. Counter and select. Maybe we run it separately. Oh, okay. Looks like that worked. So let's try to join now. Still null. That's weird. Oh, but that's okay. So this must have been the version of the query where I updated one but not the other. Yeah. Oh, sorry about the confusion there. This is going to get both null. So yeah. So I think, I mean, if in Postgres, heck yeah, man.
Wow. Whatever query I just did, it really made it had to churn for a minute.
Oh, really? So it sounds like it might be working. Yeah, 22 line queries. What was it that the Google podcast was talking about where they talked about seeing 50 line queries? Like, oh man, we're going to end up.
Actually, like I've consolidated mine down, but I mean, not that it's working. So
Yeah, let me just try. I'll dump this.
now I think I've like, if I do a Docker stats, let's see, like how much is my Docker stats? Because I think that I've crushed. Maybe no.
Let's just try running this. So that looks good.
So I didn't like that, and that makes sense.
Oh no, my browser's slowing down.
Oh, but what you wanted to group by was country or region.
So what I'm going to do is say with as, and it was current confirmed, sure, as this, and there it was. So with blank as that, then we select and we can treat that like a table now. All right, so I don't know, I always do this with CTEs. We got all the data from Kaggle. Let's see, did I still have that open? So if you scroll up in the chat, actually, I'll paste it again too. We actually linked where we got it from. Yes, if you, let's see here. It looks like I can't quite copy it right in the program I'm using. Let's see if it works. Yeah, I can't copy it, but if you scroll up, you'll see there's a paste for country population data. And if you keep scrolling up, there'll be another one where we link to Kaggle COVID-19 data. So it's all just free data. We did have to create an account. And I had to put my phone number in, but I probably should have done that now that I think about it.
That's data that they're going to use for some other machine learning.
They're going to sell it to the IRS.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Yeah, sorry, I keep getting distracted. Just like real life. So we do with current confirmed. So now in here, this should be much easier because it's just current confirmed cases. Oh, but I also need t2.country region. Okay. So we're selecting the country region and the confirmed cases. I didn't group by. I didn't do this right at all. Order by this, but I don't need to order by that yet. I think I'm just going to cheat and do the max. So, I didn't look at the data to see if it always goes up.
I got something.
Yeah?
But I don't know if I got it right. So
I'm never seeing that date go down, that number go down for any country.
Well, I did a very dumb way of doing it.
I'm fine with dumb.
And because it was more like I was just trying to one
go
thing was
Angola.
my sort needed to be on a different column. So let me try that. So let me create a haste bin here. Bang. I will once again try to share a comment in YouTube live chat, and I'm sure it'll deny it. So tell me if you got that or not. Doesn't look like you did. Why is YouTube blocking my comments? Should I hang it? Do a hangout? Send it to you via Hangouts? Are you getting those?
Yeah.
All right. So here was my dumb way of doing it. And what I did, see if it's even valid.
Oh yeah, and where we work now, we work for Broadcom. Where we worked before is a lot of places. So this is actually totally unrelated to where we work, though. We're just having fun.
So here was my dumb idea, was like just to break out the constituent parts and like, worry about like a fancy way to do the query later.
Okay.
But let me just get the max date for each country, right? Oh, but I guess my join there on line 11, I probably needed to include country as part of that.
I do need to have the country.
Dang it. And then similarly, I was doing something again like that for lines 12 and 13, but again, I left out country. So, but you can see where I was going with that though. So like I can modify that pretty quick, I think.
Okay, yeah. So we just need to. It doesn't like doing big pages. Yes, we basically need to. We could just also look at the max. I mean, this is all. We don't have to get it exactly. It's not like we're doing this or whatever. We're not. Nobody's paying us for this data. But
Wait,
we
what?
could. You're getting paid for this. We could just look at the max month in here. So it looks like February 29th is the. No, you're right.
No, definitely. It was like April 17th.
Yeah. So do all the countries have an April 17th date in them? It looks like it. So why don't we just check to see where date equals April 17th? It won't be perfect, but we know this isn't perfect anyway.
Well, we could do it that way, but I want to see if I can get this way to work.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull this while you're looking that up. Let's see if I have to. I don't know how to format the date. And Parque. Oh, did Parque pick up on it being the date? Yes, it did. That's right.
Well, yeah, because when we did that create table as, remember we were like doing cast to like change those things into, floats or dates or ints.
Yep.
I think I need to change my drill UI to not show me every result. Maybe that's where like I need to limit that.
Oops. So I don't need to do this anymore. Okay, I'm going to go back to the query I had a little while ago. Let's see. All right. All right, and then this wasn't correct. That's okay. So I'm just gonna say, oh, it was the country that wasn't working. The country join, whatever. And t2.datadate equals 0417. Let's see if this works.
I think I might have gotten it.
Yeah? What was the secret?
Maybe. I mean, I'm still doing my dumb way. But all I did was just add in some date pieces in there. So I'm going to do another hey spin. Well, actually, if I'm just sending it to you via Hangouts, I don't need hey spin.
Allegedly, yep.
I mean, again, this is definitely not the most efficient way to write this, but
Equals case ratio. I mean, this should only be one.
Where did drill go? like check out the one I just sent you?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so here's.
Oh, I hit it.
Okay.
Whoa. Wow, look at that density. And look at their
So
confirmed
still
cases. They're doing
question.
great.
Let me confirm that though. Is that still good? Am I selecting the right density? Oh yeah, well that's coming from there, so that makes sense. What was that being joined on? Yeah, that join is correct.
So they have 26,000 people per square kilometer and only 94 cases. So Monaco is actually doing super great if our numbers are correct. So let's see all of them.
Why? Yeah. I'm trying to verify the rest of my query then make sure it was correct.
I'm seeing repeats. I'm seeing the same country more than one with different answers.
Dang it.
It's okay. I don't think we need to necessarily figure it out. I think
yeah, it was a dumb query.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're just like we're able to see that we're able to do this kind of stuff. So that was like the main point of the exploration. So we've got some sort of bug in the query, but we've got the haste bins pasted out there if anyone's interested in playing with them. But I think that's good. I just don't want to spend another like half hour trying to figure it out.
Well, except for my haste bins, because
yeah,
I
we
can
can't
never
see
seem
yours.
to write anything but basic messages.
Yeah, I'll paste yours. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe you're blocked or something by YouTube. It's repeats. Yeah.
Yeah, I seriously wonder. Well, you got that one. So like anytime I type just a basic thing, but if I share a link or if I put in any kind of SQL.
Oh, you know what? I had this problem with Abdul the other day, and what he ended up doing is basically putting a space into the link. So I bet that's what it is. I bet I can do links because I'm logged in as the person hosting the channel, but you can't.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that makes so much sense too.
Wow. So we learned a lot on this call.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we could figure this out, but I think I don't know. I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's like 2:10.
Yeah, I had a great time though, man. This is really beneficial. I did not ever guess that it would be this easy to get going.
But yes, okay. So that's where I was going to go. Like, let's do a postmortem. Well, that's a horrible way to think about this. This call, considering the data.
Right.
How about like a summary of, So what's your takeaway? What's your impression of Drill after like having played with it for a couple hours?
Easy to use, powerful. I've been surprised at how fast it is, but I mean we didn't try anything too crazy there, so I'll put a question mark. But I thought it'd be slow. I don't know.
I mean, you would think it would be, right? Like
you're still reading a meg file in.
Yeah. You think it would be kind of slow to like read a couple of those files into memory and then do joins on them, right? It doesn't seem like it should be as fast as it is.
Yeah. The SQL syntax I thought also mostly just worked, which I was happy about. There were some weird null issue comma things, like if you didn't get the column exactly right with the columns.
Yeah, and it would let you like happily
that
make a mistake on a column and not always tell you that it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So there is some wonkiness in that regard, but so overall though, you're walking away from this with a positive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of Drill?
For sure. So we need to do we should do something like this for Beam as well, and
yes,
I don't expect it to be as positive coming out of it. Not that there's anything wrong with Beam, it just it's got a much steeper learning curve, I would say, and so just doing anything in it is going to take some time. But then it's kind of similar, and so in a lot of ways I'm wondering like, the stuff I've been doing in Beam, can I just do it in Drill instead?
Well, but they solve different problems there, right? Like
That's
Beam
true.
is for streaming data problems, and Drill is just about querying data.
So Beam, I kind of think of like so Beam is a unified model for dealing with kind of big data type stuff, and it works kind of almost equally as well for streaming and batch operations. So it can do this sort of thing. And pretty much all the getting started stuff you're going to do is going to be doing like word counts and basic stuff like that you could do probably in 2 seconds here. But it does do something like different parsing and some regex and some more kind of procedural type stuff. So I think that's probably where it's going to shine, is like being able to really get in there and customize things that like at a lower level. But if you're just trying to count some things or aggregate some things or join some different data sets, like, man, don't write a whole app to do it. Just write a command, a single query.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. So, in summary, like if I think about this from a point of view of like how you might want to use this in a real world kind of environment, if you were to think of like other, because when you think about writing queries, right, we're talking about like, I mean, at least for me, what comes to mind is like, more often databases, right? And a lot of your databases that are out there, regardless of what language or database you want to use, there are generally speaking a lot of great options in regards to like uh, object relational mappers and things like that, right? So if you wanted to use Entity Framework, if you want to use NHibernate, if you want to use Dapper, like whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't know of something like that for Drill, nor do I know like even conceptually like, man, like how would that even work, right? Because the data sources could be just so random,
Yeah.
right? So especially if in your environment maybe you want to allow that randomness to exist, right? So you want the user to be like, hey, I'm just gonna like I want the system to query this random file that I just uploaded,
Yeah.
right? So how would you then use some kind of, you know, ORM to help alleviate that? Because where I'm going with that is like, imagine writing uh, an app layer like in your C# or your Java that was like a repository pattern, for
Mm-hmm.
example,
Yeah.
that would handle all of the querying that ultimately Beam would be executing, or
Right.
not Beam, Drill would be executing, right? And that's where like my mind kind of like goes crazy, because it's like, oh man, like, it would be awful if you had to like write your own repository pattern that would like, oh well, here you're going to need a select, and here, oh, these are the columns that you want, like, because if you're thinking about like a full UI to where the user doesn't know anything about the underlying query, but behind the scenes, you're fronting all the query sources with Drill, and the user might have very dynamic needs that you can't do the equivalent of like, oh, I know these are the only columns that you're going to want for this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um,
So I would like
yeah.
to find an answer for that though.
And I like the idea too that I can just tell like my users or whoever, if they're used to dealing with SQL, like we've got some data engineers, be like, hey, here's some files or whatever. Like you don't have to worry about loading. You can just query it now. See, if it looks like you expect. Like it lowers the barrier to entry for dealing with new data coming in.
But you could see how low, like if you did use like a Parquet format, for example, and you did have a set of uses that you could write your repository pattern ahead of time, could be like, oh, these are the columns that needed to be selected, from these formats or these files or whatever, right? You could see like how that could work.
Yeah. Oh, and I see it's got a section for nested data too, which is something we didn't look at. But yeah, you should be able to deal with nested data. I don't really know what that means or what kind of challenges you run into there, but just the fact that they're addressing it makes me happy too. That's definitely
Yeah.
something that would be difficult.
So Alan and I did experiment with that. And uh, I don't. He specifically ran into some issues with it. Well, I should say he was the one that mostly did the experimenting with it. and I don't recall the problems that he had, but it was definitely like where it was handy was like if you had say a document from an Elasticsearch index that you wanted to, that was like your input into drill. So
Yep.
you basically you like dumped out your Elastic index into a JSON format, and then that's what you were querying. And so maybe you would have like an array of some nested value in that document. And what he was finding was like you could do that flatten operation and it would be great as long as the array had values. But if the array was missing or null, then it'd be like, oh, well, just discard this entire document.
Right, right.
And so I think if I remember correctly, he ended up doing something as like just a short-term hack where he was like, okay, fine. First half is get all the ones that don't have where that array is either null or empty on the document. And then I'll get the other half where it has a value and I'll flatten it out. And then I'll just merge those two things into one thing as a third step.
Yeah.
So,
well, it seems like, for just kind of like exploratory couple of hours, pair programming on drill, like it seems like we covered like a pretty good chunk of like the docs. Like we talked about file formats and data sources and oh yeah. So Nico, I didn't assume it, but you can pipe the output. We created like I hit the export link here, but you can export the results as like a CSV or something to get the results out of this, or Parquet or something like that. But yeah, just looking at this, like we covered like a good percentage of like these items, so I feel like we got a pretty thorough walk through the park here. And yeah, we got to see some stuff with Kaggle and stuff. So I mean, overall, like I thought this was awesome. Oh, how'd you like your first stream, by the way?
oh, for me?
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely had some headaches in the beginning just trying to get started
Yeah.
with it. So we were much later getting started than we wanted to. But I mean, overall, it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's a little bit because there were like times where like I'm trying to do something in the background.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to like pay attention as much as I might have liked to. So, I mean, there were a little bit of disconnect there, and there would be times where like, I would just have to like take a moment to catch up to be like, okay, where's he at now on his screen? And,
Yeah, and because of the way we did it, we weren't able to share your screen ever. So I was never able to see what you were looking at. So if you found something cool or whatever, I couldn't see it unless we did this awkward kind of link passing, which we had some problems with. So we'll work on that stuff.
Yeah, and like like you pointed out earlier, we definitely learned some issues with trying to use the sharing, in YouTube.
Yep. And
that didn't work out so well for me today.
It's cool to say hi to some people too. Some people we've talked to before, some people we haven't. So awesome! Thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess we'll cap it here. So you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.